Hello everyone. It's been a long time since I have been on camera or recorded anything YouTube wise. Um, and I just wanted to give a life update because there was like 5 people that consistently watched these when I was in the Ascension space. Um, I'm still honestly figuring out if I'm still in that space. I play the game, and from time to time, a couple months here and there, still play Bronzebeard, still enjoying it, but um, there's a lot of discontent in that community right now, and I don't know if I want to be a dedicated YouTuber in that space, especially since it's, I guess, by all accounts, technically illegal or against Blizzard terms of service, yada yada. I don't know if that's where I want my career to be at. Let me. I'm gonna very professionally mess with my camera settings in the middle of the video. But yeah, I guess I'm figuring out where I want to do this whole content thing. I just know that I do want to do it. And I figured I would go over where I am in life, what's been going on, things like that. So, from my last webcam video, you've probably noticed that I'm in a different room. This is in my new house. It is a very nice area. I'm enjoying all of the benefits of, let's say, upper middle income, all that kind of stuff. So, very flat, very nice, very kind neighbors, things like that. It's good. I really like where I live now. I didn't really have many complaints about where I lived before, but nothing but improvements in that front. And then also, my bed, I guess, isn't YouTube presentable. It's not made, and my headset right over there is also laying on the bed. So YouTuber fail, and when it comes to that, but the room is much cleaner. I would say for the past couple of years, I've really been depressed, and a major component of the way that my depression's symptoms manifest, excuse me, is filthy room, just like garbage everywhere, dirty dishes everywhere. Um it's honestly really shameful for me to like talk about in a way, but there was a period of time where that dresser over there, I had a different dresser, a much older dresser, and the bottom drawer, one of the many reasons I ended up throwing the dresser away and getting a new one was that I kept dirty dishes like hidden away in the bottom drawer so that I wouldn't have to confront the shame of how dirty the dishes were and the sheer quantity of those dishes and how long that they had been up there, which to me, even though I'm a couple of months away from being 26, that sounds like the behavior patterns of a child, someone who's scared for their mom to see what they've done and whatnot. And I think that's something that I always struggled with. Some people struggle to hold down a job. Some people struggle to take care of themselves. Some people struggle with nicotine, drinking, yada yada. I've always just been a sort of filthy person. And then I would hope that by the nature of my environment, as you can see on the webcam and whatnot, I'm not like hiding anything. There's no like secret magical angles here as I turn around, like these over here. This is kind of like everything that I own, everything that is in my name that I moved in now. And I'm still trying to figure out, with my days off and whatnot, where I should put those things. But, there's not like infinity wrappers on the floor or, just a bunch of other filth, So I've kind of jacked up the camera here, is what it is. But I've done my best to move on from that. And now that I'm out of that environment, I'm doing my best to not allow myself to get back into it. So, I don't want to be like afraid to show my room or afraid to show my desk or be on camera and I have to only sit in this position or I have to only, I used to worry about that stuff instead of just dealing with the problem that created that situation. So I'm proud of myself for improving on that. I've also like gonna fuck with the camera again. I have like a trash can now that, after I'm done recording this vlog, I have to take out. So again, we don't slip into those behaviors because it's full. So it's good. New room, new house, new lifestyle, life updates, progress made. I'm no longer a filthy fat fuck. Now I am a tidy fat fuck. And then if you had followed my vlogs previously, you know that my weight is also something that's always been kind of on my radar. I have been unacceptably fat in my own opinion. And I've been working on that. I don't know, we're at a point where for me, because I'm looking for it every day and, it's not like a blog every 6 months or a year or even that. I notice more muscle definition in my appendages and whatnot. It might not be impressive or it might be impressive. I'm not sure. But I've been in the gym for a while. I'm not going to pretend I've been there the whole time. That's another thing that I feel like when my life gets very stressful, I've probably talked about this before. When my life gets very stressful, I fall out of the gym. But I've been going pretty consistently the past like 3 or 4 months again. I've tried my best to, when I do fall off, that I only don't go for like a week, maybe 2, So I've been seeing progress there. It's been slow and a little miserable, just in the way of like how slow it is, because I decided when I wanted to lose weight, I decided that I did not want to do a weird like crash diet where I stick to this really awful diet that I hate for like a year. Then I lose all of my weight and I'm stuck with all this like loose skin and I hate the way I look anyway. And I felt like shit the whole time. And then I get off the diet and then I bungee cord, I rubber band right back into like, okay, well, I was on such a miserable diet. Now I'm going to like have all the shit I like and then just blow back up, So I decided a long time ago that I would do a like 200 to 500-ish calorie deficit depending on the day. And so that's going to get me like a half a pound to a pound lost a week. Stretch that out over, months and months and weeks. And then you factor in that I'm in the gym and I'm doing some pretty consistent, like 5 days a week, pushing to failure, or 2 reps in reserve, 2 RIR, or whatever. I started to take the training very seriously. I have the kind of autism where I've absorbed like 800 hours of fitness science content and studying forms, like the right way to bicep curl, and the right amount of nutrition of 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. But that's like the short way they say it. If you especially if you're overweight, do not fall into the trap of like, I'm 300 pounds, I have to eat 300 grams of protein. No, get like a DEXA scan or see a doctor. Figure out a way that you can get your lean mass calculated, like your muscle, your connective tissue, your bones, all of your like important shit, anything that's not fat, which for me was like, my lean muscle mass was like 198 or something like that. You need to get 198 grams of protein, or whatever your muscle mass is, your lean muscle mass. That is what you should be matching the pound of protein or gram of protein per pound of body weight to, not what your current obese body weight is, because you're just going to eat too much and you're not going to be able to hit that goal anyway, because protein has such a higher rate of satiety than like carbs do. So if you try to eat like 300 grams of protein, the amount of meat that actually is in a given day, it's too much. Anyway, I'm not a fitness channel. I don't have the rockin' bod to pass for a fitness channel, but I've been doing well. When I started, I was at 320, and nowadays I'm at like 270 ish. Up and down here or there, fluctuates throughout the week, yada yada. But I'm on a downtrend, and I have never shot back up, which to me, again, changing habits and whatnot, I'm glad that I've never shot back up, because historically I would enter a rough period of my life and I would be like, I'm going to eat 3 large Papa John pizzas about it, or I'm going to eat 20 Reese's cups, or I'm going to buy an on clearance Walmart sheet cake and eat it in like 3 days alone. That's just stuff I used to do to get as big as I was. And when I think about that, like, that is such an inhuman, like, I shouldn't say inhuman. It was very disordered eating that, from my perspective, I like considered normal, because other people in my life were like also overweight. And as I changed and as I started to eat like lean protein, veg, fruit, water, 0 sugar sodas, never a full sugar soda, I started supplementing with like nothing like crazy fucking illegal, like multivitamins and creatine, and they're on my desk, because if they're not on my desk, I won't take them every day. And that's just the kind of creature that I am. But as I cleaned up my diet and all that stuff, I ate less. It was much more filling, and I felt better too. I felt good. So new room, new house, new diet, new muscles, same old mic, same old YouTube channel. I haven't done everything that I've wanted to do for YouTube, not by a long shot. I'm kind of making this video to get my toes back into the water of talking in front of a mic, and then especially talking in front of a camera, because whatever content I decide to land on, I know that I want to be in front of a camera, more authentic, stuff like that. I might look at other games. I might look at. I have never touched Conquest of Azeroth yet, so I might buy into the alpha, dip my toes in that, and then I don't know if it's out there. I at least haven't seen much Conquest of Azeroth content, but honestly, for the past while, I haven't seen a lot of content when it comes to Ascension. I've seen like Venario. I've seen him in game a couple of times where we've spoken about YouTube and whatnot. Venario is still around, but a lot of the other channels that I watched when I first got into Ascension YouTube also don't post anymore. So I don't know if it's like a fad and Ascension's not like it used to be and back in my day and during Mal'Ganis and season 4 and, you know, I don't know if it's like Ascension is in a very big dry spell. That's what I've kind of heard throughout the community and like the limited interactions I've had in the discords and whatnot. That there's just not a lot of content going around. Like I'm pretty sure as of recording, Molten Core for Bronzebeard has been out for like 4 months. It's been the newest raid for 4 months. Blackwing Lair when there's reactions of Blackwing Lair all the time, like in the Discord and whatnot. And I appreciate, I guess, the sentiment of a slower release so that people who are busier or who have full-time jobs or have taken a break from the game or are like me, you know, like have taken a break from the game again, that they can catch up and participate in the content. But I feel like in reality, that doesn't exactly play out that way a lot of the time. Like, because I hit max on a warrior and I started the gearing process and I'm like, well, no one's advertising for any raids. Like, no one's doing that. I'm online at like 8 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time and none of the NA player base is like, hey, come join Molten Core. It's been 4 months. Like, everyone is completely bissed out and raid logging and pub groups are almost entirely dead. So like, and I know the answer. I have to make it myself. I know, but it's telling when you have to be the one to make all groups that the population isn't doing that well because there aren't other me's making my own groups. Does that make sense? Like, when content gets to be that old, everyone who likes the game stops playing because there's nothing to do. And they just have to wait for the next thing. So then they move on to a different game, which is fine. It's fine to like multiple games. It is. But if you want like higher player retention, then you need to release content a little sooner because everyone's done and the people who aren't done, there's not enough people who are in the camp of they're not done, but they would do it to have like a resurgence or like a second breath of life to the content. Like there's not enough people who want to do it who haven't done it yet. So now, I mean, the best way for someone who missed the bus to catch the bus is to catch the new bus. So when Blackwing Lair comes out, people are going to be forming pubs for that because it's shiny new, brand new content and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Ranting aside, I have to get better at that if I'm going to be a YouTuber. I have to not rant as much. Ascension doesn't seem like it's a vibrant enough space that I can make content for it at the rate that I would need to make content to make this a job or be a professional YouTuber, which is like a side goal of mine, to tell the audience directly. I'm 25, which to me in my life feels ancient, but to the world, everyone would hear me call myself ancient and say, "Oh, oh, you sweet summer child." I know I'm very young, but now I'm in the right middle age where people above me look like grandpas and people below me look like children. And the only people that look normal, like normal people, quote unquote, my peers, are people of my own age. Like I don't fit in with college kids. College kids are losers. They're at my job all the time. All they do is like drink and party and not have a job. Like I don't want to be in that environment. And then people above me are like, I would love to hang out, but I have to like watch my kid or whatever. I have to go to my kid's soccer game. Now I don't have a kid, so I don't know about the soccer game stuff. How the fuck did I? Why did I start? See, this is why I say that I'm old. Why did I start ranting about ages and demographics and human life experiences? I remember why. I'm 25 and I've been full-time working since I was 18, which is like, yeah, boo hoo, so does everyone. I get it. It's not a unique struggle, but it is unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it's not a unique struggle. I would say that we spend so much time at work with responsibilities like relationships, like romantic partners, children, a second job, maintaining the house, all that kind of stuff. You spend so much time busy every day, and so many Americans do, that you don't get to pursue anything that you actually want to, like your passions. No one's passion when they were growing up was to fry chicken at a fast food place. No one's passion was to make pizzas, not even like cool pizzas like Papa John's pizzas. No one's passion was to be an Uber driver or a Walmart clerk or whatever. And it's so unfortunate that there's so little free time that most people never tackle their passions in a serious way. So what I've always thought that I wanted to do, but I feel like I never really had the energy or the situation or the means to do, would be a full-time YouTuber. And there's been very supportive people in my life, friends and family, who think that I have what it takes to be a YouTuber, that they think that I'm eloquent, that I'm smart, that on the Ascension side of things, I've gotten the feedback that I'm a great script writer, and that the way that I frame things, the way that I go over concepts that to some would seem trivial, but to a new player is important, is a valuable skill. I've had people who support me in that, but I feel like I've never had the energy, the personal accountability, and the self-discipline to honestly take a real crack at YouTube. I want to. I'm still young. I've saved a lot of money due to I'm not going to go into like super specifics, but due to the nature of my job and my living situation and the way that I live. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't buy a fuck ton of video games, I don't gamble, I don't. So what do I do with my money? The answer is I put it away. Um, I'll buy like a video game DLC here and there, but games are so shit now, in my opinion, for the most part, that I'm not dropping like $60 on a new game release fucking every other week or whatever. I just play the same games that I've played for like 10 years for the most part. So again, bottom line, I don't really like spend my money. Like I pay my bills, I get groceries, I pay my gym membership, and the rest of the money just goes into my account and I save it, which is good. It's a good thing. And so what I'm looking at is like all of my money pulling together. I'm living well above my means, and there are some very responsible, very adult things that I could be doing with my money. I don't have, for example, I don't have a retirement plan yet. I should really start. I know. For anyone watching who might be a little more tuned into the internet, there's a podcaster, YouTuber, really big, named Caleb Hammer. He's a financial advisor. He's awesome. I'm nowhere near the spending habits or the financial situation as someone who would be his guest, but like I don't have a savings account and I really should. And as I talk about it, I think I should look into it soon. But the point is I have excess money. Which is a very unique situation to be in America, and it's something that I am grateful for. But I don't have excess time, which is what I really want. So, sometime in August of 2026, I've already talked about it with my boss, and we came to an agreement. I'm going to switch to only working 2 to 3 days a week. I still need to do the mathematics on with my rate of pay, with the hours I get in those 3 days, with my general monthly expenditure, all that stuff. I like track it with an app and whatnot. How many hours I need on a paycheck to like just go even. And I want to take at least 6 months is what I'm thinking, where I work just enough to go even, and that my money just kind of sits stagnant. And for that period of time that I have so much free time, I want to accomplish a couple of life goals, which one would be like I'm 25 and I don't have my license. I find that pathetic, personally. I know it's a bit of like an American culture thing. I agree that we should have better public transit and whatnot, just as a general rule across cities in America and stuff like that. But I should have the ability to drive if I need to. I should do that. And then I want to, my biggest goal with all of that free time, aside from a driver's license and all that shit, would be to actually earnestly try YouTube and treat it like a full-time job. Treat it seriously, where I don't have to be recording for 8 hours a day, but treat it like a job where for 8 hours out of all of my, quote unquote days off, because I'll have like 4 to 5 days of the week that I don't work as a fully developed adult I should have so much free time that I want to spend at least 8 hours of it recording, editing, thinking of new videos, script writing, streaming, expanding content networks. Like I want to be on, I think I hit the mic. I'm sorry if that came through. Professional or attempted professional, by the way. Expanding onto like TikTok or double, streaming on YouTube or Kick or Rumble or whatever to get discovered. And yeah, I just want to give it like an honest 6-month shot. And I don't expect to, like, at the end of the 6 months, I'm a 2 million subscriber famous YouTube star with millions of views and oh my God. But at the end of that, I want to say 6-month period, if I'm like a fucking 200 subscriber chud who gets no views on any of his videos and no one cares, don't care, didn't ask, not watching, not entertaining, plus you're a chud, if that's what it is at the end of the experience, then I would at that point hang up the YouTube coat or only do it as a hobby or whatever. Probably get a certificate in something technical, like coding or computer engineering or something, because that's probably my largest skill set, other than I have like 6 years of professionally, I have 6 years of management experience. Civilian wise, I've been on computers since I was like 6. So, I've like done modding. I've written code. I've messed around with Unreal Engine. I did some college in IT, all that kind of stuff. I'm very technically, I like to think so on average, very technically literate, that I would look into some sort of education like that, because I believe that I am capable enough, that I have enough discipline and intelligence to properly learn. Yeah, if YouTube wouldn't work out, I'd probably pursue like a certificate or whatever, but I want to give it an honest shot. And I think this video is just to talk about my feelings, put it into the world, say hi. There might be more videos in the future. It's a couple of months until I'm giving it the full-time treatment, but if you watched this far, thank you from the bottom of my heart. One of the really only reasons that I've made a video like this is because there were a couple of people, when I was making this more often, these update videos, that would comment on every one, and they would actually ask me questions about things that weren't in the first 5 minutes of the video. Like, they gave the impression that they watched it all the way through, and that in a very like brotherly sense, they cared about what I was saying about, and that's very touching, and that's a thing that we don't have enough in the masculine community, in the male space on the internet. So if you made it this far, thank you. I love you, brother. If you have any questions about anything I talked about, if you want to talk about Ascension, if you want to, whatever, feel free to comment, feel free to like. I'm not going to say subscribe, because honestly, there might not be a lot of videos after this, but there also might be. So I don't know, hedge your bets, but my track record is really bad. I have not been uploading for a long time. But I mean, other than that, I think that's the video. So, thank you anyone who stopped in and listened. Bye.